Hey guys, welcome to Modern Crafting. It's our last week together, and today we are going to be making bleach t-shirts. And the sun just came out, hooray. So this is what it looks like. And you're either going to draw or you can print something out on the computer to do this with. Either way, if you feel comfortable drawing something, then you can just draw it onto your freezer paper, or if there's a specific image you want, you can print it out and then do it that way. So I will show you, I did this last night, recorded the whole video, and completely messed up my project, so I'm redoing this today. But I want to show you that not every project turns out great. So this was my t-shirt from last night. I'm not even sure if you can read it. It says sunny days ahead. And where's my paper? Let's see if I have it. So this was the template that I drew. This is what it was supposed to look like, and I sprayed way too much bleach on it, and it bled through and ruined it, and so I'm redoing this. And I'm doing a different image this time. But I just want you to know that sometimes my projects go south and they don't turn out. So that happens. So don't be discouraged whenever you have a project that doesn't turn out, because that's the thing. That's a part of the process. So, and we can all learn from my mistakes yesterday to go easy on the bleach. Okay, so you're going to need a spray bottle with bleach. I did not provide that for you guys because it's a little too difficult with the quarantine thing to pack up 30 bottles of bleach. So any spray bottle, you could do like a little misting spray bottle that you would get for like a travel bag, or you can just, if you have like an extra, like a simple green or Windex, don't put it in a Windex bottle. Never mix Windex and bleach. Don't do that. Okay, so maybe if you have an empty, clean spray bottle, you can use that. And you only need like an inch or two. You're not going to use hardly any at all. And you're going to need some gloves because you don't want to mess with bleach without gloves. Then you're going to need either an x-acto knife or scissors to cut this out with. If you have an x-acto knife, make sure you use some sort of a cutting mat so that you don't cut through onto a table or a countertop or anything like that. So I will show you what I did. I scrapped the one that I went with because letters are really hard to do, and it took me 45 minutes or more to cut that out, and I didn't want to do it again. And my husband said something about the Mandalorian, so I was like, he'd be so happy if I made a shirt for him. So, well, I guess you can't really tell holding it up with the wind, but here, I'll do this. So I'm gonna do, if you can see it, I'll lay it on this mat, a Mandalorian helmet on mine. There, you can kind of see that better. I'm gonna lay this out on my t-shirt. So what I did, if I can find my paper, so I just decided not to draw it because I'm not the greatest artist. So I printed out a graphic of the Mandalorian. The more simple you go, the better, because cutting it is painstaking, and lots of curves and lots of little pieces are gonna be really difficult to keep track of, cut out, iron on, and all that. So I would go with bigger shapes, or let's see here, like here's an example. If you really like cats, this would be perfect. One big piece to cut out, no little pieces to think about having to put in the middle, or a bird, or any silhouette shape is your best bet, especially if you haven't done this before. If you're feeling risky, you can do something a little more advanced, but that's entirely up to you. So I did Mandalorian, cut him out, and then I had to decide what part I wanted to be bleached. So I could just put this on the t-shirt and then put these pieces back in, and then it would have a bleach design, just a Mandalorian helmet bleach design. But I've actually decided to take the pieces I cut out and iron this onto the fabric, so it's going to be like bleach around his head, and then there's just going to be little black pieces of the helmet showing where the paper is covering the t-shirt. So first thing you'll do is cut it out. If you have a utility knife, x-acto knife, and a cutting mat, and heavy-duty gloves so you don't cut yourself, talk to your parents and you can do that. Otherwise, you can use scissors. The smaller the blade, the better. Little manicure scissors, like for trimming your nails, work really well because you can get into tight spots. And so you're just going to cut out any part of the paper that you have left that you're ironing onto the fabric. That's going to keep your fabric black. And where there's the holes, the cutout parts, that's where the bleach is going to show. So you're gonna lighten your shirt with that part. So be thinking, sometimes if you're not real spatial, it's hard to picture how that's gonna turn out. Okay, so I'm gonna take a t-shirt, and if you have an ironing board, you're gonna need an iron and an ironing board. Or if you don't have an ironing board, you could probably use like a wooden cutting board or a big piece of wood or something. I'm gonna lay out my t-shirt. Okay, make sure I've got all the fuzz off and all the wrinkles out. And I'm gonna take, this is nice because it's one big piece, and then I got one little extra piece here, but it's not like a jillion pieces to try and keep track of. So I'm gonna lay it down. This is the freezer paper. I'm gonna tell you that. So after you print out your image, let me tell you this first. After you print out your image, you're gonna take your image and you're gonna tape it behind your freezer paper, and you can just put it up, tape it up in a window and trace it onto the freezer paper. So that's what I did here. I traced it onto this piece of freezer paper, and then I laid the freezer paper onto the cutting mat and cut it out from there. Because the freezer paper has a waxy back to it, and we're gonna iron it to the shirt, and that wax will melt just enough to make it stick to the shirt, but it'll be easy to peel off afterwards. So that's what your freezer paper is that I gave you. So get it all either drawn or traced onto the freezer paper, cut it out from there. This is freezer paper. I am terrible at making sure things are straight, so I'm gonna try really hard here. You can use a ruler if you like. I have one somewhere. Generally, when you're doing a t-shirt, you want it to be at least 3 inches from the top of the neckline. So you don't want your image jammed all up in your neck, and you also don't necessarily want it stomach level. So you can measure, you can eyeball it. This is just over 3 1/4, so that's about right. I'm gonna hope that this is straight. It looks straight to me. They always look straight till you iron it on, make it permanent, and then realize that it wasn't. Okay, that looks good. Got my iron, turned itself off. Hopefully it's still hot enough. And I'm just gonna go straight down, apply a little bit of pressure. I've got this on a low setting. I've got mine on like 3 or 4. So you don't need it on high. It'll actually like make your paper kind of wrinkle up a little bit if you have it too high. So you want the steam off because you're not going to use any water. You're just warming this up so that it will stick to the t-shirt. And literally like a few seconds. Get it on there just how you like. Don't move around too much. You might rip the paper, or you might move it to a spot you don't want it. Okay. I believe that is, yeah, that's fully ironed. Okay, so here is what it looks like. Okay, so it looks straight, you guys, and even. It does to me. Good. Okay, so that's what that looks like. So wherever the white paper is, that's going to stay black, and wherever the black is showing through, that is going to get bleached by the bleach you're going to spray on. What we're going to do first is we're going to take, you can either take a big piece of cardboard or like a grocery bag like this, and you're going to put it inside the shirt so it doesn't, the bleach doesn't soak through to the back, because you don't want a bunch of bleach on your back unless you want a bunch of bleach on your back. So I do not on this one, so I am just going to do this so it doesn't leak through. And then to protect the shirt, I'm going to just take it and I'm going to tuck down and tuck the sides like so, so that I don't accidentally get bleach all over it, like that. Okay, so now I've just got a little square of fabric showing, and I'll show you, it was on this shirt. I ended up accidentally getting bleach on the back of this one, if you can see those little spots, because I didn't tuck it in properly, and then there's like a bleach spot down here on the bottom you can see. So, pays to be careful. Okay, next step, oh, I need to grab the bleach. Okay, I just happen to have an old container that I washed out, and so we label ours. I keep a bottle of bleach around, but we label it bleach, 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 so we know not to drink it. Okay, that's like that. Now, all you're gonna do is spray your bleach on, wait a few minutes, and then rinse it in water, and you're done. So, get your gloves on, and do this outside. You do not want to spray bleach in your house, and do it. You can do it, this is an old table, so I don't care about it, but it's easily washed. But you may want to do it on a tarp, or out in your grass, or somewhere where your parents don't want bleach everywhere. And you're literally not going to use much. On this one, I saturated it too much, and that's why it bled through. It actually bled under this iron-on and went under in bleach. That's why it wasn't clear. So, a light misting. Think perfume, just some spritzes. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to kind of do it so it's around a little bit. So I'm just going to do this. Spritz, spritz. I'm just going to do that. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to watch it and see what it does. And if it ends up that there are spots that are not turning color, see, it's already starting to turn color. So if there are spots that are not turning color, I'll go back and I might spritz it a little bit more. I'm going to hold this up so you can actually see it turning color. So it'll take a few minutes maybe. Depends on how light you want it. If you're going for like a really, really light, almost like a pale tan or pinkish color, sometimes it'll go kind of a pinky or lavender color. The longer you leave the bleach on, the lighter your shirt will get. So right now it's kind of a rust color. I have no napkins to wipe. Oh, yes I do. I'm gonna wipe this so I don't accidentally lay it back down in any of my overspray. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, just gonna give that a few. So, I notice it's a little heavier on this side, if you can see. I feel like this has more splotches and there's not much over here, so I'm just gonna give it a little spritz over here to kind of even it up. And it doesn't take long. You can see how quickly it's lightening. I'm gonna turn the camera off, give it another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll come back and we'll rinse. Okay, we're back. So this has achieved the lightness that I want. You'll notice here that it's I've got some big splotches, and you gotta be careful depending on if you want like a really light mist, then you'll want to have sometimes these are on stream, or you can put them on stream or spray. Make sure it's on spray. Or sometimes like a smaller little travel bottle will have like a nicer mist to it. And this is a little splotchy because it's not necessarily made to make fine art. So I'm gonna take out my paper bag. Oh man, I got it on the shoulder. Well, darn. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So it was a little more square. I kind of didn't want to have it be squared off like that. I think I sprayed too much. If I had done a lighter mist, it would have maybe just kind of blended out. I might add I'm gonna add a tiny bit. Oh, no, actually I need to put my bag back in. I don't like how both arms are looking right now. So I'm gonna add a little bit more, just a tiny bit more bleach to it to kind of blend that in. With my bag right there. Just do a little bit of bleach. And I'm going to move my bag over this way. This way. Actually, I need my napkin. The problem is I keep getting bleach on the table and dragging it through. Okay. Those of you that tend to be very precise people, you're going to be amazing at this. Those of us that are a little more, kind of tend to be a little more liberal with this and can kind of get messy. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to blend his shoulder since I kind of got a little extra bleach there. Just give a little bit so it doesn't look like such a harsh line. Okay. My bag out. All right, does that look a little more uniform? See, it's already showing on the arm there where I kind of blended it more. And then that arm. so that's coming together. And now, oh, it's already coming off. Okay, so you can put this in the water first and then peel this off, or you can just peel it off before. It doesn't matter. You guys, it worked this time. Last time, it did not work, and I was so sad. Look at that. It's a Mandalorian, I did it. Look at that, guys. All right, so now I'm gonna put it in water. You can do it in your sink. You can do it if you've got a bucket. So I just have this tray. It's really handy for crafting. And I'm just gonna dunk it in here, and that will just stop the bleach so that it doesn't keep bleaching. And then what I would just do is wash it with detergent. So you can throw it in the washing machine. Don't put it in there with anything that you don't want bleach on. So I did put, it's very optional. You can put a little bit of, this is like basically like a cheap version of OxyClean. You can put a little bit of that in your water, and that's supposed to help the bleach stop working at that point so it doesn't keep bleaching it. But if you're gonna wash it right away, you can just rinse it and then wash it right away. So I just threw some of that in there because I think my washer's occupied at the moment. So you basically just want to rinse it enough to stop the bleach. And maybe use less OxyClean than I use. I put a whole scoop in there, and that's probably too much. All right. So it is no longer bleaching. All I need to do is throw it in the wash, and I have a new shirt. Well, my husband has a new shirt. So there you go. Exciting stuff. All right, have fun with this. I want to see all your finished projects. Okay,